another great day to build a plane, or in the case of this video, 3 days. So I got the rivets that I needed from the factory to finish up the stabilizer spars, so I put the elevator spar away and pull out the front spar for the stabilizer, so I can get the doublers riveted and kind of start working on building the stabilizer itself. I'm going to do a lot of talking to you guys in this video, but my really cheap mic decided that it was going to fail on me, so I'll crank it up so you guys can still
quick
hear.
update. Here's what's going on. I got new rivets from the factory. I'll show you guys. These are the rivets I have, A5 rivets. These are what they sent me, A6 rivets. Much bigger, and it has a domed head, whereas the A5 does not. So A6 rivets are what I'm using in the doublers along the stabilizer spars, but since I didn't have these and I wasn't sure if these were the rivets I needed, I drilled holes for A5 rivets, knowing that, hey, if A6 rivets are the right rivets, I can always make that hole bigger. If A5 rivets are the ones I need, well, let's go ahead and drill those holes so I have something to do. So now, these don't fit. I gotta go and drill all these holes a little bit bigger. So I have some 3/16 drill bits. I'm going to go through and make all these holes bigger. I'm hoping that those drill bits work. Otherwise I have to go buy new ones. The A6 rivets are 3/16 rivets. My worry is that using a 3/16 drill bit, it's going to be just the right size for the rivet, but not quite big enough for it to fit in easily, and I don't want to have to force these guys in. So I might have to go back to the aviation shop and pick up some number 10 drill bits. We'll see. I'm going to start drilling. I'm going to get started drilling. Yes, drill baby drill. So here's work. See you guys. Well guys, just as I feared, and I've taken some pictures, I'll show you guys. These don't quite fit in a 3/16 hole. If I really forced it, it would, but better just get a bigger drill bit. So, work is on hold for now. I gotta go drive down the street and pick up some bigger drill bits. Alright guys, I picked up some number 10 drill bits, and that's the size that I needed. I drilled one hole before I turned the cameras on. It fits now. It's perfect. So I'll have to drill more holes at the right size.
You guys might be looking at the bottom of the YouTube screen, seeing that red bar and thinking, there's a lot of video left. Well, there is. This is a pretty long video, but I think it's a great opportunity to see the entire process of getting rivets set. Since I had to re-drill these holes, you get to see me drill, deburr, and then finally set the rivets. Also, if you guys remember the mistake video I posted of countersinking some of the holes while I was deburring, I had to re-drill. These are those holes. I had to re-drill them, so they're no longer countersunk. I drilled the countersink part out because I had to make the hole bigger. So, problem fixed.
Well friends, found a new problem. These Clecos are made for number 20 holes, which is what you put the A5 rivets in. They're too small fit into these number 10 holes. But I need to order some new Clecos. I don't want to wait for them to get here to keep working, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave some of these holes as number 20, number 10. Now I can't, well, now I think about it, I can't do that. I'm going to leave some of the rivets there. There's some of the Clecos there, put in some rivets, take Clecos out, drill, put in new rivets, but I need to drill the whole thing, pull it out, and then deburr it. Oh. I need to find where to get some number 10 Clecos, hopefully somewhere here in town, so I don't have to wait for them to ship and wait, 2 weeks to get them. I'm in Alaska. Shipping isn't quick up here. Nothing's quick. That's really real. Please,
Hey guys, it was a crazy weekend. This is Monday now. I didn't get nearly as much work done as I would have liked to this weekend. But I'm back in action, and now I have the right size Clecos, so I can Cleco my holes again. So it's time to move all these Clecos that are too small and drill the holes that the Clecos are in so that they're the right size, take everything apart, deburr it. And then I got a spot here that I need to polish up a little bit. It came a little scratched, so I need to buff that out since it is on the Spar, so that we can maintain structural integrity of the Spar. And then hopefully onto some rivets. That probably won't be until this evening or maybe even tomorrow. But we're getting closer. Closer to some more rivets. All right, I'm going to put my audiobook on and get back to work. Well, good morning, guys. This is going to be a quick work morning for me, and then I've got some chores to do upstairs. But I've been deburring these holes. I've only got a few left. I didn't film me doing the rest because I worked on them last night while I was waiting for a guy to come by my motorcycle, and I didn't want to have a bunch of dead footage while I was just running around selling a motorcycle. Thankfully, he bought it, so now I don't have a motorcycle sitting in the garage and got a little bit extra money for the plane. So, win-win for me. And it was a good motorcycle, so I think it's a win for him. I think he'll enjoy it. But anyways, these are the holes that I deburred before. This is the front the stabilizer front spar. But I had to re-drill these holes, as you probably remember, because they were number 20 holes, and I needed number 10 for the bigger rivets. So I had to re-drill them, which means I have to re-deburr them, and then I'm going to touch up with the anti-corrosive. It was apparently still a little wet when I put the pieces together last, so they're sticking together a little bit, and so it pulled off some of the primer. So I'm just going to touch up where the primer got pulled off and then let that dry, and hopefully do some riveting tonight, or maybe not. I don't know what my plans are tonight, but we're getting close to doing some riveting. Not close to being done, far from being done, but got some deburring to do. I'll let you guys see that because I'm trying a different process to be a little more careful with my deburring. I'm doing a combination of deburring tool and a flat file. So I'll use the deburring tool a little bit. I think one of the problems that I had with the deburring tool earlier is I was putting a lot of pressure on there, so it was taking off a lot of metal. Now I'm not applying any pressure. Like, I'm barely letting the weight of the deburring tool itself rest on the metal, and so it doesn't take off nearly as much metal, so it takes a lot longer. But I do the deburring tool, let it take off what it can, and then usually there's still a little bit of an edge, especially on this backside, because I drilled down, had this flipped over, so this was where the drill bit exit was, and so that's usually where the burrs are the worst. So this side has been the worst. I've got everything else debarred, and this has been the worst for the deburring. And so I've been using the file a lot. I'll swirl around with the deburring tool, and I'll come over and just lightly, again, hardly applying any pressure, or not really applying any pressure at all, just letting the weight of the file rest on it and moving the file back and forth until it gets rid of those burrs. So that's explaining my process for you guys. Trying to be as careful as I can so I don't countersink these holes again. Yeah, if you guys didn't notice, these are the same holes that I countersunk before. So my whole confessional video of, oh, I did it bad, I've had a chance to fix it. All these countersunk holes, I've drilled out the countersink because I had to make the hole bigger. And now I'm going back and doing my best not to countersink them again. There've been a couple that are slightly countersunk still, less than it was before, but I'm doing a lot better this time. So I learned from my mistakes. That's good. All right, I'm gonna get to work, guys. So, drill, deburr, apply anti-corrosive, and then maybe finally rivet. It's a multi-step process to getting anything done here. And everything that you do, you have to do over and over again. So keep that in mind if you guys are thinking about building a plane. It's not bad. It's a lot of repetition, so as long as you don't mind that, everything's good. There you saw me buffing out that scratch I was talking about. And here I break out my Dremel with the little Scotch-Brite wheel I made for myself. I really wanted to get that smoothed out, especially because it was right in the middle. I want my spar to be as strong as possible. And then I work on a couple other scratches along the spar just to get everything nice and smooth, nice and clean. And pretty soon I'm going to get to drive some rivets. it'll be in this video. So if you guys stick around, keep watching, you'll see these rivets. Again, guys, thank you for joining me in this process of building 527 Alpha Kilo, this Zenith 801 Super Duty. It's been a lot of fun for me. I don't have anything left to say in voiceover, so I'm going to let this video continue to play out here, and you guys are free to watch it. Stick around if you want to see those rivets getting set. If you guys have any questions or comments, please throw them down below. I would love to answer them. I haven't gotten any comments yet. I'm waiting for you guys to send me some questions. I want to have a conversation with you guys about this plane building process. So please send me comments, send me questions. If there's anything that you guys want to know about, put it down below. Feel free to click like, subscription, whatever you guys want to do. But really what I want to see are questions from you guys if you guys have any. So thank you for joining me. Continue to watch if you want. I don't have anything left to say, so have a good day. Okay, I do have one thing left to say. So that first rivet that I set, I still had the Zenith specialized rivet head, the concave one, on my riveter. And since these are already domed head rivets, it left a really funky looking impression on it. And I remember reading in the construction standards that for domed rivets like the A6 rivet or the AS5 rivet, which is a stainless steel rivet, you're supposed to use a flat riveting head. So I went and switched out the rivet heads, that's what you guys saw me doing there, from the concave rivet head to the flat one so that I could use the correct head on the rivets that I'm setting.